Alrighty then. Right, welcome to my kitchen again tonight. Oh yes, it is that time again. Well, 26. Yes, it's dinner time. Cheer, and it's a Saturday night. Cheers. Nutrition is my key ingredient lately. The key is that generally on any dish that you should be cooking should have plenty of greens in it. Okay, plenty of vegetables, vitamins and stuff like that, which is good for you. Okay. So I have effectively dropped my comfort food eating, which I do like a cheese macaroni. I most certainly do like a pizza. I do like a tikka masala or a madras or something like that on a bed of rice with yogurts and so on and so forth. However, there are nutrients in those dishes, but not a large amount. There needs to be more vitamins put in, and the problem is that most of today's foods are not as vitamin rich as they were 20 years ago. Now you can do your own research on this, and I have, well, yeah, it's a big issue. A lot of like fast grown vegetables and things like this don't actually contain enough rich nutrients that you'd expect would be in it. You'd think one carrot would be enough. Unfortunately, one carrot isn't enough. It doesn't cut it. So, and this is the thing. So one has to incorporate far more vegetables, greens, fruits into their diet. You can do that all the way through the day. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, watch the calories. You don't want to go too fat with it. You know, like don't have 5 apples in a day. You know, have one at lunchtime, and then wait until dinner before you have anything else. That would be a good idea. Cheers. So anyway, so I'm going to use chicken. Now I pull my chicken out. I'm defrosting it on a aluminium heatsink, which is actually a bit of leftover heatsink from a job that I did, which you can see. Fins at the bottom, solid aluminium plate, whoosh on there, heat the plate up with hot water, put your chicken on, and then 40 minutes later it's defrosted. Okay, actually really stupid idea. However, if I'd have just defrosted that on its own in the natural ambient air, that would have probably taken 2-3 hours, maybe longer. Yet I put that on there, hot water on the plate, heated it up so it was red hot, you could hardly touch it from the hot water. Put my chicken on there, disappeared 2 hours, went and bought myself some vegetables, and it's already defrosted. That's how it works. So yeah, get yourself one of these, cheap on eBay. They're used for LED lighting, if you must know. For the high-powered LED silicon dyes, you put them on there, and obviously it's to keep the LEDs cool in operation, because they put out a great brightness. Okay. Enough of me rambling. Right, what I'm going to do is, if you watched my last night video, I have half an onion left over. So I only use half an onion. Onion does have a few nutrients in it. It's mostly more sugar than it is anything else. So, if you're a single person like me, a bachelor, as they call me, then effectively half an onion is perfectly fine for one person. Now I'm going to chop the tops and not so much of the root off, a little sliver just to get the little rooty bits off, okay? Because the oils and goodness that's particularly in the onion is actually in that bottom root portion. Okay, if you chop too much of that off, you're just left with the fleshy parts, which is mostly water and sort of sugar. There's not that many nutrients there. The nutrients are actually in that root, but we don't want to actually eat the root, the whole root portion. So we just very carefully chop that sort of bottom piece off in a thin slice, but retain the rest of the bottom of that onion. I mean, that's my personal preference. Everybody's different. This isn't set in stone. These aren't like some kind of rules. If you don't follow, then you're wasting food or something, you know. So it's not like that. So I'm just going to finely chop my onions. And because I'm not doing mincemeat, they don't need to be super finely diced, okay? But just evenly finely chopped. Okay. Now I'm using a saute pan tonight, which is here. Saute pans generally is different from a frying pan or a skillet because they have a lid. Okay, so they're like a frying pan, but it's a frying pan with a lid. Alright, it's a saute pan. I'm going to put those in there. I'm going to drop in a tiny bit of olive oil, really not much at all. Teaspoon, very small amount. Do not need much at all. Let's get the right burner, of course. I'm going to put that on a low to medium heat for the onions. Get myself 1 spoon for a spanking, baby. Just going to flatten out my mushrooms so they're all my onions are flat on the base of the pan. All of them are in contact with the base of that pan. It's the beauty of a saute pan or a frying pan. You have that flatness so you can make sure that they're all flat and there's no big pile in the middle. Yeah, cheers, right. That's the onion done. It literally was that easy. Now the next ingredient that I'm going to do is I'm obviously going to do half a bulb of garlic, okay? Which could be several cloves. I mean, it depends on the variety or the you know where you buy the garlic from. Some you get bigger cloves in the bulb of garlic, and other times you get a large bulb, but loads of little cloves. All depends. One of those things. Garlic is highly irregular. There's definitely nothing consistent about garlics and the way that they grow. I do like that king garlic though, which is difficult to get hold of. We used to be able to get hold of it from supermarkets, particularly here in where I'm at, without a problem. Sainsbury's sold it, Tesco's sold it. Now, non-existent. Now we just get little tiny bulbs of it, you know. It was nicknamed chef's garlic at one point in time, but I believe its proper name is it's king garlic. But it's quite a large bulb, about the size of effectively a really good big onion. You know, it's quite a big bulb of garlic. I did go to the grocers and get one from the grocers, but seriously, 2 days later and it was going off. It was starting to grow. I sort of fell out with that grocers because he's obviously selling fruit and veg that's he's pretty much had in stock for quite a while. Fresh is definitely not in his grocer's marketing name, let's put it that way. It's difficult, I suppose, to do fresh, grocers, because obviously you're not going to sell huge amounts of the stock, whatever, every day, particularly with supermarkets like Tesco's, Aldi, Lidl, Sainsbury's, Asda, and all the big supermarket chain names around. People who usually go in there rather than to the small local grocers. They're generally buying the supermarket product more than anything else. And so I suppose it is difficult for them to retain sales, really. However, it doesn't do good for quality. Quantity is far lesser important than quality. Unfortunately, this is one of the reasons why, fruit and veg is starting to lose quite a bit of its nutrition in the recent years. How do you overcome that? Well, this is the point. This is what we are doing at the moment. This is why I'm making these videos. Obviously to show, not just to rant about it, but to actually show, what's going on, Now I'm going to get my little, I'm using another chicken stock pot here, okay? I'm going to make some stock. So it's going to go into there. Get rid of the pot, that's ready. Pour my warm water, which the kettle boiled 5-10 minutes ago. Dear, that plastic lid wanted to fall on the floor. So I've now got sort of about 80 degrees temperature in here. So I'm going to make up some chicken stock, about, what's that, 3/4 of a litre maybe, 400, 500. Because that's going to double up as the juices to cook the pasta. Because yes, this pasta going to go in here. It's about 100 grams of pasta, which is for one person. It's about approximately 100 grams per person really on pasta. And this beauty of buying vegetables particularly is you can buy like 1 pack of mushrooms, and if you're on your own, I use 2 mushrooms in a pack. Probably going to get 8, maybe 9 mushrooms, sometimes 7, depends on the size of them. Sometimes they're quite big like this, so you're liable to get more like 6 or 7. They're quite large. But on each dish you're using 2 of those mushrooms. Now if you get 10 in a pack or whatever, that's like 5 dishes you can make from that 1 pack of mushrooms. Okay. Obviously if you get like 6 or 7 in a pack or whatever, then obviously that's reduced. You have to sort of look at that and then buy 2 packs of mushrooms when you do your shopping. This is the key. This is how you do it to work your stuff out. Obviously carrots, things like that. You don't want to be buying like 2 or 3 packs of carrots, because say you are going to go through them quick. But I don't think you're going to go through like 3 packs of carrots in like 4 or 5 days. There's a lot of carrots. See, there's carrots usually in a bag. They usually come, you got like 10, 12 carrots, you may be able to get through 3 packs of carrots, you eat that much, but all depends. But yes, carrots seem to be the best vegetable to get your nutrition. They're very nutritional. And very rich in it, even still at the moment. So, as most of the other stuff, particularly even that's imported or whatnot, doesn't have as much of the nutrition in it. However, carrots, which I believe are generally grown in this country, are very nutritional. And they do have quite a lot of vitamin A. So they're a very, very nice vegetable to have. Anyway, I'm ranting away or whatever, time is a-burning. So, I've got my garlic in there and I'm just wanting to get that fragrant, okay? And while that's doing that, I'm going to prep my chicken. Because the garlic and the onion are ready for my chicken. And I'm going to dice my chicken into cubes, but first I'm going to cut straight down the middle there, straight down again in the middle on a vertical, move those to the side like that, and then I'm going to dice down into cubes, simply and easily. Nothing complicated about cooking, you've just got to, you know, be confident that you can do it. I'm going to take my, because that's ready for my chicken now, and I'm going to pop my chicken into the pan. I'm going to wash my knife and my chopping board, because I need that still for the rest of the vegetables which are going to go in and really provide a very well delicious nutrition to this dish. Now do bear in mind that when you stick something like chicken in, or any protein, beef, chicken, lamb, whatever, it's going to want to steal the heat from the pan. So you may, depending on how your cooker works and how good your gas is and whatever, in my gas last night I couldn't have threw the bloody part, there was more water than there were frigging gas. And you're going to have to adjust your heat, okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start prepping my vegetables. Now I've got 2 bird's eye chilies here. I'm just going to take those things off and I'm going to finely chop these. Like so. There's no particular order here on certain things. Just the onions and the garlic need to sort of do their first thing. But with the chili, I can put that in now. There's no big deal about that. Now I'm going to chop my mushrooms just roughly into like 16ths or even 30 seconds. I think 30 seconds would be a little bit too fine really. But yeah, just about 16ths. Yeah, don't go cadgering me on like imperial versus bleeding metric, you know. And while you do that, constantly come back, check that frying. My chicken's starting to brown lovely. Turning it. Things are warm and juicy. I'm going to go in with my mushrooms now. Watery type vegetables, try and wait until later in the dish. Now I'm going to slice off the top of that pepper there. I've got my carrots there, I've got some green beans there, some spinach there. I'm just going to sweat off while my chicken's nicely brown and getting a lovely colour on that chicken. I want my mushrooms to sweat off in with those onions, the garlic. That deliciousness going on in there. I find parsley and thyme go very well with chicken. So I'm going to use some dried parsley and thyme in my dish for this evening. There's my thyme, there's my parsley, not too much. Again, when we put this in, we have to work quick on the rest of the ingredients because we do not want the herbs to burn. I'm going to use about half a teaspoon of parsley. Thyme's quite a strong herb, so it's probably 1/4 to half a teaspoon on the thyme. Instantaneously the fragrance has come off. Just in that small meteor of time, it has literally not ready, so I'm going to slice up, because I've been spending more time bloody chatting than I have cooking really with this video. Should be more of a ranting video than a cooking video. So I'm going to slice up my tomatoes now, because they're running at that time at the moment or whatever. I need fluids in there, so I'm going to go straight in with that tomato, give it a stir, and then chop my because I do not want to burn those herbs. That tomato will reduce the heat of the pan and will start to release its water, and that will preserve the full beautiness and aroma of those herbs we've just added. And these can be finely diced, chopped, you know, you don't want too coarse in this, because obviously what will happen is then the tomato skins tend to sort of become stringy. You tend to have stringiness in the tomato skins. Carrot wise, I think I'm going to grate them again, like I did on my previous dinner last night. I want the beauty and the flavour of those carrots in there, but I'm going to chop the tips off. See, this one was obviously really been broken, the tips oxidised, so I'm going to do that so I've got a nice fresh beginning. Get some nutrition in you. These carrots look black, but they're not the purple. Obviously, hang on to the damn thing. Keep an eye on your pan while you're doing it. It's all a multitasking juggling trick. You can get good at it. As you can see, if you can hear the frying stop, you can hear steam coming off it now. That's the water coming out of them tomatoes. That has literally locked the flavours of everything going on in that dish together. Get it on the bottom of the tray. Right, another one of these purple carrots. Could use a yellow one with this, you know, it's just got less yellow ones. Seems like the yellow ones I'm running low on, so I thought, keep yellow ones for another dish. Right, so I get my carrots in. Good sweet juiciness. Can get messy sometimes, as I say, part and parcel of the job. Not in with a normal standard orange carrot this time. There we go. And my carrot grated. Other than that, we've got the orange carrot, we've got the purple carrot. Looks a bit like grated beetroot, but it's not, it's carrot. So in we go to the dish. Let's get the waters out of them carrots now. The smell coming off this. Oof la la. And those carrots will definitely suck the heat clean out of the pan. So give it a moment to raise in temperature. Or you could raise the temperature and then turn it down as quick as you can. I'm going to put some, I haven't got many of these green beans left. Fancied a snack last night, so effectively I prepped a snack, a little dressing, and it included some of these green beans, slim green beans. I'm going to chop these into sort of 1/2 inch lengths. My veg bit there is good. I think I'll stick those in now as well, actually. In with that. Lovely jubbly. I've got spinach here. I'm going to use about 100 grams of spinach. So I'm going to get it in now and get it reduced. Stick the rest of the spinach back in the fridge. Ooh, look at that, we have cruised through ingredients. Cruised through them. Try and mix it up without throwing all those spinach leaves all over your cooker. You want to get them down close to where the pan is. I want to retain some of that moisture as well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the lid on. It's the beauty of a saute pan. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start prepping my, it's kind of a garnish. It's the ending of the dish. I'm going to chop up the pepper. Everybody's preference is different. Some people like the pepper to remain more bigger, with chunkier bits of the pepper. You can do if you want, or if you want, you take the seeds out. If you want, keep the seeds in. It's completely totally up to you. Me, I'm going to generally coarsely, sort of finely to coarsely chop my pointed sweet pepper. The thing is with these pointed sweet peppers is they're absolutely packed with nutrition. I mean packed with nutrition. Just generally go through it. Give it a slice into sort of cubes. Made a pizza the other night. I used these a few nights ago actually. Used these sweet peppers on them. Absolutely delicious. So that is that. How's my spinach wilting? Very nicely. All the aromas coming off this. Ooh la la. Those purple carrots changing the colour of the dish to a lovely bright thyme purple. The water is definitely coming out of them. Keep the lid on. Got those done. Now what I want to do is I'm going to throw some spring onion in here as a finishing garnish as well for the extra nutrition. I think, what should we do? We'll do 2 legs of spring onion, look. Eat your greens, babies. Eat your greens. Oh yeah. Again, like last night or whatever, just take that thin outer skin off your spring onions. And then, as close as you can to the root, just want the tails off, that's all. The whiskers, if you want to put it that way. And then what we're going to do is we're going to dice this up into, again, 1/4 of an inch. I wouldn't say go any larger than 1/4 of an inch in length. You want about 1/4 of an inch really on spring onion. Just fits in with the size of the dish. Now they're all done. That's going to go in with the peppers. Cheers. So, how's my sautéing doing here? Beautifully. That's what we like to see. That is like a delicious. Let's show you. Look at that. Everything. The chicken has turned purple. That is some colours going on in there. That it's very Christmassy actually. And sort of Christmassy and Halloweenish all put together. It's quite good. Maybe we should call it like some kind of rainbow dish or something maybe. You know, why is it not standing up again now? Damn it. Right, I've got you back there. Right. So got my dish. We're on a low to medium heat, remember here. Pulling the water out. We're just sautéing and softening, basically softening up all those ingredients, okay? Put the lid on temporarily, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my pasta. I'm going to need about 100 grams of this pasta, okay? It's just me, if there's two of you, more people, put more pasta in. Now, obviously I'm going to go in with some tomato puree, and my secret ingredient that's going to cream the dish up is mascarpone. Okay, you can use Philadelphia or soft cheese if you wish. Okay, personally I like mascarpone. I think it's much more delicious, creamier flavour. However, there is one ingredient that I feel has to be added at this stage of the dish while it's sautéing. Before the stock goes in, is a little bit of lemon, because lemon just provides a tanginess to the sweet. It balances the sugars out. You know, takes that overly sweet flavours from the carrots and everything else and provides a lovely balance to the dish. But again, everybody is different. You know, you can skip the lemon juice if you wish to. You don't have to go down the route with the lemon juice. There we go. Squashed. And the beauty of lemon is it's also a great, effectively like an antiseptic, antibacterial. Cleans things beautifully, disinfects, and it's packed with lots of vitamins, particularly vitamin C. Yes, that is looking very, very good as it is. This is a slow dish, I know. But yeah, it's just take it easy. This is a Saturday night as well. Oh, lemony. Right, I'm going to go in now with my tomato puree. Well, there we are. That's only about a tablespoon of tomato puree. Tablespoon of tomato puree is generally a rule of thumb, really, on quantity wise. You don't want to go any more than that unless you're actually cooking for a lot of people, because it's a big cut of fish. Yes. Everything is sauteing brilliantly in the dish. Right, okay, so now we are ready to go for our pasta and stock. So I am going to increase the heat. I want to bring the whole pan up to temperature now. I want to hear it sizzling, I want to hear it bubbling now. I'm going to open this bag of pasta. I mean, you could measure, if you wanted to, you could measure out 100 grams. This is a 500 gram pack. So generally divide that down into 5. I generally know where 100 grams approximately is. Don't need to do much more than that. So temperature of my pan is up. The smell of that zesty lemon coming off that. With them herbs, the spinach, the carrots, oh, the onions, the mushrooms. Delicious. Okay, so that is temperature around this system. So I'm going to go in, yes, straight into the pan rock. About 100 grams of pasta I put there. And I'm going to give that a stir. Don't be too quick to rush in with your stock. The pasta's going to start absorbing and sucking up all those flavours and juices from the carrots, the spinach. Like so. I need to stir my stock. So yes, I have here approximately, well not approximately, this is 580 millilitres, okay, just short of 600. And I'm going to pour that in now on top of all those ingredients, including the pasta. I'm going to give it a really, really, really good stir. Incorporate the stock, the broth, and break all those ingredients into the dish, and that pasta is going to suck up all that goodness. Lid on. The mascarpone and the peppers and onions are in the final stage. I'm not going to let you bore you. That's probably going to take 10, 15, 20 minutes in the saute pan. So I'm not going to continue particularly just boring you with rant. Through the rest of the video. Obviously it makes the video actually really large as well. Facebook doesn't particularly like videos that are particularly but they're quite happy for you to stream live to them for 3 hours before they cut you off. You know, go figure. But yeah, so I'll end the video here, and I shall return later. Take it easy, don't do anything I wouldn't do. Oh yeah.